Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers review. In today's video I'm taking a look at something I know a lot of other people have already covered, but I found this on Bargain Max, one of the UK's biggest online retailers, and I thought, yes, why not? I'm going through a stage in the moment where I'm kind of re-loving things like the Transformers animated line and the Transformers Unicron trilogy. And I just thought this is very apt considering he was, of course, based on the Cybertron or Galaxy Force version of Optimus Prime. I would just like to bring your attention to the fact that Bargain Max do have discounts currently available to those who are buying from their site. I believe it's if you spend over £50 you can save 10%, and if you spend over £100 then you can save 20% on your purchase. Really tempted to get Mega Supreme. He's there, and I think they've got up for, I think it's like 149. So after discounts, you're looking around £120 for a Titan class figure. That is super tempting. But yes, this is of course Galaxy Force Optimus Prime. And we have him in his box. We've got the very kind of typical Siege style packaging. He is of course a leader class. There we go, we have him on the back of the box in his fire truck mode. You can of course get Decepticon Shockwave as well. So let's get him out of his packet. Boom! There we have him out of his packet. Yes, he is smaller and thinner than the original Galaxy Force Prime, but this brings back so many nostalgic memories. It's one of the first real lines that got me back into Transformers. I absolutely love the look of Galaxy Convoy. And then we had the likes of their Megatron as well. We had Metroplex in that line, Menasor as well. Yes, they looked different, but they were essentially really large, bulky, robust figures, and I absolutely adored them. Hence the reason I'm going back and collecting some now. I've only got Energon Megatron so far, but I'm intending to hit into the Armada line as well as the Cybertron line as well. And seeing this on Bargain Max, I thought for that price it'd be silly not to dabble into nostalgia memory lane. It's definitely a lot more hollow in comparison. Obviously the mold has been reused. We've got the likes of Prime in there, we've got Magnus parts in there, but as far as a Galaxy Convoy or Galaxy Prime, he definitely does tick a lot of the boxes. You can noticeably see that that's who it's based on. Love the big firearms coming out of there as well, and he really does look the part. And just to give you an idea of how the leader scale has changed over the last few years. Megatron was he leader or was he ultra class? Basically he's the equivalent of a leader class figure. In comparison, I mean, weight-wise, there's no comparison at all. Megatron is a complete and utter unit, solid piece in comparison to Prime. And here we have mixing in with the Studio Series as well to give you an idea. So he's not a small figure by today's standards. It's just when we start comparing him to those older figures, then yes, we see the noticeable differences. Up close and personal, it's a really decent sculpt, in my opinion. Really drawing inspiration from the source material. Got those big cannons on there. Obviously this is a standalone weapon which is just tabbed in. You can have these flipped around and up at the back. Personally, I do like having him kind of armed up like this. In this super mode, the articulation does limit itself due to the fact that we tab these cannons in, but the head can still look up, down, left and right. Lots of tilt on there. If we decide to untab the cannons, we can bring those up and around and have those up at the back out of the way, which now allows for the arms to come all the way around out to the side like so. Upper bicep rotation, there's a pivot on the wrist, there's a waist rotation in there, no abdominal crunch, but we do get ratchets out to the front, out to the back, out to the side. There's an upper thigh rotation. We get a single jointed bend on the knee, and we do get a pivot on those ankles as well. And there is the addition of an extended heel spur, but really that's not necessary. There's no real weight to Prime, so nothing that's going to kind of set him off balance. If we just remove this gun here, we can pop that into his hand as well, like so. So it's dependent on what you want from your figure. There's lots of different posable options, even in this heavily armored mode. Let's just move this back round. I have to move the leg out of the way just to swing this on its hinge and bring that up to the back. So we've got full range on those arms. We can remove these guns, which again can be used as separate artillery if need be, and they can be mounted on those wing panels like this. Same on this side. Bring this round, bring this up, and tab that onto the wing. I think it's DNA that have made an upgrade kit for this already, kind of making it even more Cybertronian. Now, as cool as he does look, all of these are actually just add-on accessories that we can detach. So we need to just lift the shoulder panels up, lift the shoulder panels up, these forearm pieces untab and untab. The head can rotate around like so, and this whole panel here is going to lift off. That's the backpack piece gone. The leg pieces have already been disengaged. I moved those off for the wing. Now bring this panel around, bring this panel around. That unlocks this chest piece. So we can bring that down, bring out the prime head, bring that back up and push and tab that in, and bring those arms back into position. This waist piece can then come down, rotate and come back up, giving us a more kind of G1 style waist. We have these panels here. These are going to fold inwards, and these are going to push and tab in at those 3 locations, which allows this to just slide in to the back, and then we can just make sure this is straight. Slide that torso forward, which then allows this to be freed up, and then we can slide that back, and that pushes and tabs in to the back of prime, and the legs just slide off, and we can bring these heel spur sections down. He looks very minuscule, and I don't think the leg kind of length, etc., really suits him. He's definitely got that kind of Energon vibe about him. Optimus Prime, I think we used to call him back in the day. But I don't know, he just seems a little bit too hench for the size of those legs. I actually prefer how he would look with the bigger extended legs on, even in that kind of G1 style look to him. But anyway, let's get him transformed up into his vehicle mode. It's pretty straightforward. I want to bend the arms up, make sure that the wrists are rotated inwards, come round to the back here. This is going to extend outwards again, which allows this to drop. These are then going to come around like so and come around. The chest is going to come down, and the head can be popped in. That's going to come in like so, and this entire waist piece is going to rotate, and then we can just slide these into the correct locations like so, like so. These are going to come up, make sure the heel spurs are up. This comes around, and those are going to tab in. So out, up, around, tab the feet in, and then they tab in together as well. Just make sure that that's all in fully, like so. And that's kind of the basic Cybertron mode. Not a fan of those hands hanging down at the back there. I mean, they've re-engineered a lot of this. You'd think they'd have something that would cover those hands up, but again, really nice nod to his original Cybertronian form. Now we're going to get him transformed up into his full Cybertronian truck mode. You want to get to those fake faux front panels. There's just going to slide inside those legs, and if you've got the extended heel spur out, you can pop that back in for now. These legs are both going to come in together, and those are going to push and tab in like this, come round to the jetpack piece. This is going to fold flat like so. That's going to come down, rotate this over, rotate this over. This is going to come down like so, and then hyper extend on that hinge. Then want to bring those back up, bring that back up. These are then going to come around and up to the back like this, and then there's these tabs. Those are going to push into position on both sides. So again, on this side, make sure that that's in, pushed and locked in, and those are brought up like that. So we're left with something that looks like this, and making sure that these panels are clear. This is going to come down, and there's tab, tab and tab. That's going to push and lock in on both sides. This here is going to come in, and again that's going to lock underneath like so. There's then this bar here, and this panel here, that's going to come in, and that should, he says, push and slide into position. And then this panel here, once that's in fully, it's going to come down, and that's going to lock on this piece here as well. We can then bring these tabs in, and they're going to lock and secure on both sides like so, and then these can just be brought down like so. Now there we have the majority of the fire mode completed, and there we have his final form. Now you know what, it's not the same as the original, but at the same time it's not terrible. It definitely bears more than a striking resemblance. I like the way the this panel here kind of slides backwards to make sure it all attaches. The wheels don't all roll together either, but all in all, that's a fairly decent nod to the original. I think bot mode's definitely the superior of the two modes. Stumpy Prime's okay. I think he looks better with the extended legs. Yeah, more than happy, especially considering price of this figure. Originally, I think they were kind of retailing around like £60 or £70 at one point, which is too much in my opinion. But this I like. I do like the fact we can move these pegs as well. These can like slide for when we adjust them in arm mode. What do you think? Have you ever watched the Unicron trilogy? Personally, I highly recommend it. It's different, to say the least. They don't exactly all follow in suit. I just wish that Energon was animated the way that Armada was, as opposed to going over to kind of graphics. But personally, I really did enjoy them, especially being a fan of the likes of Beast Wars, etc. as well. Going on to the Unicron trilogy was a very kind of natural thing for me to do. I've got a very large amount of animated figures coming soon. If you'd like to see those being unboxed, just let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to be doing some of these kind of older reviews as well, with the likes of Energon, Megatron and the animated figures themselves. So please stay tuned for those. But for now, thanks again to Bargain Max for getting this out to me in these rather odd times that we're experiencing. And from myself and the rest of the Collectables household, thanks for watching. Goodbye.